there, thanks for tuning in to Duckbricks. I'm Chris, and over the course of my many years of LEGO collecting, I've accumulated a lot of rare LEGO items. But then the question is, what are the rarest of them all? With a collection like this, there are so many unique and exclusive rare LEGO items from all throughout the company's history, and so today we are going to be counting down the top 10 rarest LEGO items that I personally own in my collection. So how exactly did I quantify this? Well, the value that I looked at most is simply monetary value on Bricklink, which is the world's leading used LEGO marketplace, which also coincidentally is actually owned by the LEGO Group. But value isn't everything, because some items are simply more rare than others just because of their scarcity. And so when calculating this list, I made note of not just the value of the item, both new and used on Bricklink.com, but also the price that I personally paid for the item when I acquired it, as well as the scarcity of the item itself. If 500 of a certain item exist, it probably is more rare than an item of which 5,000 exist, even if that one item is more expensive on average than the other. And so without further ado, let's jump right into number 10. Starting off at number 10, we have an exclusive San Diego Comic-Con minifigure. This is the Collector from Guardians of the Galaxy, only given out during the 2014 Comic-Con, of which only 1,750 copies exist. The value used is around 1.1 to 1.5k, the value new is around $2,000, however, I paid $900 for this in November of 2022. The Collector is a really nice minifigure utilizing a cape made for LEGO Legend of Chima for Wars, but it looks really fantastic on this minifigure as well. There's very subtle leg printing for the dark red strips on the sides of the black legs, and the hips have printing as well, continuing downwards for the colorful vest as seen on the torso of the minifigure itself. Out of all the pieces on the figure, the head, torso, and legs are exclusive and probably will never be used in any other minifigure, making this a really special minifig, especially because he is a fairly important character in the MCU and reappeared in other MCU entries like Infinity War. But this is still just the 10th rarest item in my collection because there are still 9 more even rarer than this one. And coming in at number 9, we have another Comic-Con style of exclusive minifigure, although the way to get this one was a little bit more interesting. This is the classic suit Miles Morales from the PS5 Spider-Man Miles Morales video game. Only 1,650 copies exist of this one, there are 100 less than the previous item, and specifically, in order to get this, you had to win a raffle. If you beat the PS5 game, you could choose to enter a raffle to win this minifigure, and it was randomly given out in 2020. If I had to guess, this probably was some sort of a physical event exclusive in 2020, but of course, when the pandemic hit, LEGO was looking for other ways to distribute it, eventually making it even harder to get a hold of. The value used is around 2 to 3k, and the value new is also 2 to 3k. However, I only paid 1.9k, which is a little bit less than the typical value because the packaging of mine is a little bit damaged. I don't really care about the packaging, I only care about the minifigure, so this was the perfect item for me to get, and I actually just got this one in August of 2023, making this the most recently acquired entry on the list, and I'm so happy to add another amazingly detailed Spider-Man to my collection because I'm sure the value of this will only continue to go higher, especially with the popularity of the Spider-Verse movies. Moving on to number 8, speaking of Spider-Man, we have a 2012 San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. This is Spider-Man in his black symbiote costume, of which only 1,500 copies exist, so the number of these that exist are actually going down. It was again released in 2012 for Comic-Con. The value new is around 2 to 3k, value used is around 2k, and I personally paid 1.6k in July of 2023, making this also a fairly recent addition to my collection. This is something I've been wanting for a long time, and despite the fact that really the only super special thing about the minifigure is the head, that obviously has the Spider-Man eye printing for the head, and then a slightly different torso that is very similar to the Venom torso but just a little bit different, this is a really special minifigure that obviously is very lore relevant for Spider-Man, and of course, you can't create the funky Spider-Man dance without this minifigure. Moving on from that, we have another event-exclusive minifigure. Don't worry, this entire list is not just made up of Comic-Con minifigures. I do actually have some other rare items as well, but that just happened to be how the prices and rarities stacked up in terms of my collection. This is Batman from San Diego Comic-Con 2011, making it one of the oldest LEGO Comic-Con exclusives. Only 1,500 copies exist. Its value used is around 1.5 to 2k, value new is 2 to 3k. However, I only paid around $500 for this and another one of the Comic-Con exclusive minifigures because this was actually sold to me by the amazing Jonathan, aka Mini Superheroes Today. I'm sure you know who he is, but if you don't, go check out his channel, check out his Instagram. I believe he just hit 150k followers on Instagram, so huge congratulations to my man for hitting that. And seriously, a big thank you to him for selling me this. He sold it to me when I visited him in Tennessee in May of 2023, and I got this alongside the Green Lantern minifigure, which is pretty much almost equally as rare, a little bit less rare than the Batman one, which you can see right next to Batman right here. Now, the Batman minifigure is based off of the Dark Knight, which is obviously why it is a super rare looking minifigure, and while we have gotten very similar figures in the past, really the only exclusive thing about this is the torso, it absolutely is a really special one for Batman completionists. And moving on, we can take a look at number 6. And coming in at number 6, we have our first non-Comic-Con exclusive. This is Boba Fett from Cloud City, the original Cloud City with printed arms and legs from 2003. The value used today is insane. $1.5 thousand. The value new is $2,000 to $3,000. And the only reason why this is number 6 on the list and not maybe a little bit higher, even though it is a bit more expensive than some of the other items on this list, is, for one, this was released in a standard retail LEGO set. I am actually of the opinion that the value of this is a little bit overblown. Obviously, this has been crazily hyped up by Star Wars fans, which I totally understand, but we've gotten much better Boba Fett minifigures since this one. The only reason why this is so rare is because the set it came in, Cloud City, was a pretty limited run. It was not that popular of a set, so LEGO pulled it off of shelves pretty quickly, making it one of the rarer items on this list. The Boba Fett minifigure is the rarest minifigure from that set, even though all of the exclusive minifigs from that set are pretty equally rare. However, the price I paid for this was literally nothing, because this set was given to me when I was a kid. I literally got this in 2005 when I was a child. That is when I got the Cloud City set and all the minifigures with it, so this was bought by a relative of mine, gave me the Cloud City set, and I didn't actually have to get this one on the secondhand aftermarket, which is really great. I am very thankful for that because it is a really cool minifigure. It was one of the first instances of printed arms being utilized in a brand new LEGO minifigure. Back in the day in 2003, getting printed arms was pretty much unheard of, so this was really special for its time. It's a little bit outdated now, but it is still a really cool minifigure, and the price is continuing to go up year after year. But coming in at number 5, we make a return to the Comic-Con LEGO minifigures, and this is the PS4 Spider-Man from San Diego Comic-Con 2019. There are estimated only 1,500 copies of this existing in the world, and so the value new is around 1.5 to 2k, value new is 2 to 3k, and I paid $950 in November of 2022, which really goes to show how crazy the market is getting, that these values are skyrocketing even just a few months prior. Now, this is a very notable minifigure, of course, because he did have a cameo in Across the Spider-Verse, the Insomniac Spider-Man himself, and also, if you're a fan of the PS4 game, personally, I started playing it on PC after getting this minifigure. This is a really great and iconic Spider-Man minifigure with the white logo and printed legs, definitely one of my favorites that they've done for Comic-Con. This one came out in 2019 and quickly became one of the rarest Comic-Con minifigs out there. And moving on to number 4, we have my only LEGO Inside Tour set or item so far. This is the Mask of Water. Only 200 copies of this exist, making this probably the single rarest item on this list, save for number 1. This was released in 2015 for the LEGO Inside Tour. The value used is pretty much not applicable. We have no sales value of it being sold used. The value new is around $3,000 to $5,000 right now on Bricklink, and personally I paid around $2,000 in December of 2021, making this one of the single most expensive LEGO purchases I have ever made for a single LEGO piece. Now, what's really special about this is that, again, it was only given out during the 2015 Inside Tour. In case you aren't aware of what the Inside Tour is, it is essentially a private tour held in the LEGO House of Billund, Denmark. You can also tour the LEGO factory and get to meet the CEO. You basically have to enter a raffle to be considered for a spot to be included on the Inside Tour. It is hyper exclusive. If you've been on it once, you probably can never go on it again because they want new people to be able to do it every year. Personally, I have applied every single year to be able to attend the inside tour, and I just simply have not been lucky enough to win it. I will continue applying until I get it. Hopefully one day at some point in my lifetime, I will be able to go on the inside tour and get the inside tour exclusive set, but as of right now, I pretty much am relegated to just buying these secondhand. And as you're about to find out in a video I'm releasing tomorrow at around this time, I am also very curious and looking to acquire all of the rest of the inside tour sets. But of course, I had to get the Bionicle one, which is an exclusive transparent blue recolor of Golly's Mask of Water from the G2 reboot. But moving on, we can take a look at the top 3 rarest items in my collection, and surprisingly enough, number 3 is not the rarest one. This is Mr. Gold. Only 5,000 copies exist. He was released in 2013, and I'm pretty sure everybody probably knows what Mr. Gold is and the story behind him. The value used is $4,000, the value new is around $4,000 to $5,000. Personally, I paid around half that, $2,500 exactly in December of 2021, which was the going rate around that time. Now, Mr. Gold is a really special minifigure because obviously he was kind of a chase figure for the Series 10 of LEGO collectible minifigs in 2013. Initially got a lot of backlash around that time because people were kind of accusing LEGO of somewhat scummy business practices, tricking people into buying a lot more of the collectible minifigures just to get this one. But you cannot deny this is a good looking figure, chrome gold all around, absolutely stunning printing detail, and he's just a rich chrome gold guy. He literally personifies everything to do with the chase kind of aspect of these very rare and exclusive minifigures. I find it really funny how they made him kind of this sleazy, wealthy looking businessman. Like, that is the rarest minifigure that a lot of people are going to ever own, but he really does exemplify, I guess, the qualities that LEGO's going after with these rare minifigures, and the price continues to go up, which is absolutely crazy to me, because as you saw, compared to some other items on this list, there's a lot more of this. There's 5,000 of this compared to some that only 200 exist, or 1,500. But I guess it is just so rare because LEGO hyped this up so much, and I'm so curious in the comments if anybody else owns Mr. Gold. And from there, we can move on to number 2. And for number 2, we have our first LEGO set on the list. Yeah, surprisingly enough, I did count LEGO sets in this list. I just don't really own a LEGO set other than Cloud City, which was kind of folded into the Boba Fett listing that was rarer than any of these individual items, except for this one. This is set number 4000031. It is the exclusive T-Rex, and only 500 copies of the set exist in the world. It was released for Jurassic World in 2018. The value used is around $6,000, although I haven't really seen anybody sell this used. The value new is anywhere between $8,000 to $10,000. However, the price I paid was only around $2,500, so $2,500. Somebody reached out to me on Instagram offering it for sale. They were a fan of the Duckbricks channel, so thank you so much for selling me this, and I acquired this in October of 2022, just around this time last year. Now, the story behind the exclusive T-Rex is that in particular regions of Europe, I believe it was Belgium, Amsterdam, and some other places, you could enter a raffle by purchasing a certain amount of Jurassic World LEGO sets. You were entered into a raffle to be able to win one of these 500 exclusive T-Rexes. And that is basically the story behind it. It is just another exclusive specialized LEGO thing. It is a unique color. We have never gotten a T-Rex in this specialized color before. It is a flame yellowish orange color, or the Keto Orange as Bionicle fans would say, with a very specialized print. Nothing else special about it other than every single piece of it is a special color and a special print, which is why this one is so rare compared to all of the other items on this list. And finally, for our number 1 rarest LEGO item ever on this list that I currently own, again, I am looking for a lot more. This is by no means the rarest LEGO item in existence. It's not even the 50th rarest LEGO item in existence, probably. But this is the rarest one I personally own, and this is Black Suit Superman from San Diego Comic-Con 2013. For whatever reason, only 200 copies of this exist. 2013 had a very limited run of exclusive LEGO minifigures. The value used right now is around $8,000. The value new is around $9,000 to $15,000. There are things selling for $15,000 that I've seen, which is absolutely bonkers. And thanks once again to many superheroes today, the incredible Jonathan, I was able to get connected with a deal to buy this for $1,100. Yes, that is correct. The value of this is around 8 to 10 times that. and I paid $1,100. Thank you again to Jonathan for hooking me up with this amazing deal. I got this at Brick World Chicago in June of 2023, which is really interesting seeing how most of the items on this list were really recently obtained. In fact, the oldest item on this list, not counting the Boba Fett, was the Mask of Water that I obtained a couple of years ago. But yeah, pretty much all the rarest items were just very recently gotten by me. And this is such a special minifigure, obviously made a lot more popular thanks to the Snyder Cut, which was a really cool recut, Zack Snyder's version of Justice League, which they finally released a couple of years ago, which basically sent the value of this minifigure into the stratosphere. It's also probably one of the last Henry Cavill Superman minifigs we'll ever get, if not the last one, so it is really special to get this as a figure. Absolutely going to treasure this. Now, the one that I bought did not come with the Comic-Con clamshell backing. This was a special copy that was given out to employees, so it didn't have the cardboard backing, which is why it was a little bit cheaper. But again, I don't care about the packaging, I only care about the minifigure. So this was literally perfect for me as a LEGO collector. I really had a blast being able to get this, and I think this is the perfect one to end this list. But before we wrap up, I do want to make a note of one other item that is incredibly special, and I just wasn't really sure where to actually place this on the list because I just didn't really know what the value of these are. You see, circa 1949, LEGO was trying to figure out how to make the LEGO brick and trying to optimize their color palette. And because of that, they generated a ton of special, unique marbled LEGO bricks, test bricks, short shots from the factory with all sorts of different weird colors, symbols printed on the bricks themselves, and surprisingly enough, in November of 2022, somebody who was a fan of the Duck Bricks channel reached out and gave this to me as a gift. I believe they said they were a descendant of an original LEGO factory employee from the 1940s, and the value used anew of this, I have no idea. This is potentially priceless. This might be the single rarest item in my collection, and the only reason why I didn't really give it a number on the list is because I don't really know how to price this. I don't know how to value it. I absolutely am going to treasure this because this is so special and cool to own a piece of LEGO history. Thank you again so much, the folks who sent me this. You can check out linked in the description below my whole unboxing of this. But yeah, this is potentially really priceless, super special collection of test prints, misprints, and experiments from LEGO's earliest days. And you can check out that video summarizing the entire in-depth look at the history behind these. They actually stated which factory each of these came from, so you can check that out in the video in the description below. And I think that's a great way to sum up this list of the rarest items in my collection, and tune in tomorrow for the rarest LEGO items missing from my collection that I'm still on the hunt for. Alright, and with that, we have summed up the top 10 rarest LEGO items in my collection. From exclusive inside tour Bionicle masks to strange specialized promotional giveaways, this has been a great list of some of the rarest and most valuable items that I currently have in my collection. But of course, there's still so much more to go, so stay tuned because tomorrow at this exact time, I will be publishing a top 10 LEGO rare items that I want to own in my collection, but do not currently own myself because there's always more to get. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe for even more LEGO news, reviews, discussion, and analyses coming your way very soon, and bye for now.